Welcome friends, I am Nilesh Gandhi from Laptop Care. Herewith I am presenting one of the interesting case study for my client laptop. Laptop model number was Lenovo Y400 and motherboard part number NM-A141 revision 1.0. Problem in this motherboard laptop when it arrived to me was no display, that is a blank display, and no response even after pressing power button. And when we connected this same laptop to DC supply for checkup, it shows only 4 milliamp of current consumption on connecting adapter, which was very less, which is generally in the range of 10 milliamps to 20 milliamps. So I found this case interesting and decided to share with my friends. So before proceeding, I just want to request all my friends to please subscribe my channel, like my video, and leave your valuable feedback in comment box which topic you want in future as a case study or as a topic, and definitely I'll cover it in my channel. Okay, thank you. So here I'm proceeding with a case study. This was motherboard of the laptop, and it is Lenovo. So model NMA141. When we open the motherboard, we take out from the laptop, and when we checked outside, we straight away went to the standby section, which is having IC part number PU4 and IC number RT8205L, because there was no 3 volt 5 volt output, always output on the output coils. So we decided to check this IC. First we checked the V in section, that is voltage in section, pin number 16 of RT8205L, and here we found 19 volt. Okay, and then we gone for enable, where actually we should have some voltage around 4 volt to 5 volt depending upon the voltage divider circuit, which is over here, because this voltage directly comes from adapter, that is a B plus, and via this voltage divider circuit it generates enable. But here we did not found any volt. So as per study theory, if your VIN is okay but enable is not coming, means your IC is bad. So at present we assume that IC is bad, and before proceeding further, this schematic which I found was not matching with the motherboard. It was release revision 0.2 and my motherboard revision was 1.0, but many of the sections were matching, so we decided to go with this particular schematic diagram and test further. Here the ICE part number were matching, so it was easy for us to trace. Now when we check this, when we found this IC PU4, that's RT8205L, there was no enable voltage, so we decided to change this IC and check for another IC in our stock. In our next videos we will going to cover the standby section working in laptop, and internals of RT8205L, which is very important section in laptop diagnostic. So tune it for my channel. Definitely you'll see videos soon. Now in our stock we did not found RT8205L, or not even in our dead stock. So we decided to go for equivalent of this IC, which is TPS 51125, and some of technicians say it is not equivalent, it is not matching, but we cross check with the data sets of both the standby IC, that is RT8205L and TPS 51125, and we found it is matching pin to pin. So we decided to replace RT8205L from our stock with our TPS 51125. After replacing this IC, this is the PU4 location on the board where RT8205L was placed, and we removed it, and we placed TPS 51125. Even after placing TPS 51125, we were not getting the required output, that is 3 volt and 5 volt LDO. So we decided to check the impedance at the output, and we found that impedance at the 5 volt line, that is 5 volt always line, was very near to ground. Okay, so definitely there is a short in the board because of low impedance, and 3 volt side it was okay, but because of 5 volt side line was short, the IC is gone bad, that is RT8205L, and even this was not giving output. In-depth review of how voltage divider works, and how to check impedance on laptop motherboards will be covering on the next video soon. If you are interested to see any of the topic early, just put your feedback in the comment box. We will work on it soon. Now when we are checking the impedance, we have seen that there were few capacitors directly connected to the plus 5 volt always P, that is plus 5 VALWP output, which are the filter capacitors, and they were after the coil. So we decided to test this, and for that we have checked impedance. Here we are getting low impedance, so we removed all three capacitors and checked outside, but there was no shorting or leakage on the capacitor, as they were giving right impedance on after removing from the board. So what we have decided, we'll go further, and we'll check where this low impedance or shorting is in the board. So after removing the capacitor, we have seen that there was one solder pad PJ4 was there on the board. We'll check it in the schematic. So it will be easy for us. You can see over here, there was plus 5 VALWP, which was our output, and this output is converted to plus VALW, that is plus 5 volt always, after this PJ4 jumper, that is a solder pad or a jumper. This jumper is generally used to connect two sections, that is input and output, and definitely it is used in diagnostic via isolation. To check further, we have removed this jumper pad, that is soldering on the jumper pad, and we made this solder pad open so that we can isolate both the section input and output, and we can check the impedance. After removing the solder from the jumper pad, we found that impedance on output side, that is the output of our RT8205L 3 volt 5 volt IC was proper, and impedance on the input side, which is the output voltage of IC going after jumper pad, this voltage was going to many places on the board, many sections in the board, and at this point we were getting low impedance. But on other side of jumper, that is output side of RT8205L or TPS51125, impedance was okay. So now it is sure that shorting is not on this 3 volt 5 volt standby section, but it is on the other sections. So we have decided to check which are the sections where this voltage plus 5 VLW is going. So let's see, friends, in which sections it is going. So when we were checking on the board, let's see, this is the 3 volt 5 volt section. Going further, it was going to 1.5 VP, 1.5 VSP underscore VGA, 1.05 VSP section. Here in the this section it is going to PU5 IC as a input voltage. Then next it was going to PU6 IC as an input. It was going to PU6 IC as an input. Okay, that is which is in the same section. Then going further, it was going to the VCC SS section, that is 1.05 volt. Here in this particular IC, that is TPS51461R, as an input drive voltage V5 DRV, you can see there. Okay, then going ahead, we found that it is going to other section 1.8 volt VSP. Okay, and also one second, also going to PU8, which is SY8033B. Then it is going to TPS51219R as an input voltage. Again, okay, so many a place it was going. It is going to LCD VDD section as well. Then it is going to optical disk drive section as well. Then it was going to power LED, HDD and caps lock LED section as well. Then it was going to battery charge low LED section also. It is going to USB 3.0 port as a input power and coming out as a USB VCC CA. it is going for USB 2.0 power also. That is another IC. Okay, so it is USB 2.0 power, you can see U69. So this way we have checked, it was going to many, even that power button section. Okay, this is power button section, and pin number 1 it is 5 volt. So we found out there were many sections to check before checking for short. So we have decided to go a little shortcut, because we have found this 5 volt always is converted to 5 volt Vs at one point. Okay, that is at U46. This 5 volt Vs is also very important voltage, and conversion of this voltages and its nomenclature will be covered in one of our videos coming soon, so that you will have an idea how the naming nomenclature is taking place. So when we check this Vs line, that is 5 volt always to 5 volt Vs line, we found the impedance is still low. So instead of going for all sections to check here, we have decided to check this U46 first, and decided to use voltage injection method to find out the short in the board. This is very interesting method by which we can find out the shorting in the motherboard. There are various methods. One of that is voltage injection method, one is impedance testing method, one is you can apply flux and check heat by heat method. So here voltage injection and heat method are connected to each other, and the last and new method is use milliohm meter, which gives a milliohm range component impedance, which is not shown by normal multimeters. That is also coming up in one of the video, where you will see how milliohm meter works and how it finds the short in any kind of electronics boards. These tools are readily available with us, and you can check it out at our channel for the products, and contact is already given at the end of this presentation, so you can check in there. So coming to the back to the topic, we have decided to inject 5 volt and full 5 ampere to this U46 IC, and decided to go for heat test. Okay, this heat test is generally performed by two ways: either you can touch it and feel it, or you can use IR thermometer or a laser thermometer to check the heat. So when we up here, this U46 is N channel MOSFET. Working of N channel MOSFET will be covered soon as a one of the interesting topic, which is widely used in all kind of laptops or even Apple. And this pin number 5678, which are the drain of this particular IC, and pin number 1 2 3, where we are getting plus 5 volt Vs, is output. So here drain is input and source is output. So we have given a 5 volt at this drain, and instead, as previous section is already isolated from this section, so we, instead of getting heat or some high ampere rating, we only got 30 milliamps on our DC regulator power supply. So there was no major fluctuation in amps, but we decided to go further with this voltage injection. We continue that voltage injection and check for heating component on the board by hand. So we did not find any heat in this particular section, 5 volt always to 5 volt Vs, and then we decided to test on various points where this voltages can go, that is 5 volt always can go. As we have seen in the PDF, there were so many sections, so by touching it we accidentally went to the USB section, and we found that this left side USB 3.0 port on the board, where its IC U39 was heating abnormally. Bingo. So definitely we found a culprit here, which was shorting the full 5 volt always line, and we stopped this test at this point and removed this IC immediately. And after removing this IC, you can see the this is USB 3.0 port, and this was the location of U39. That was a supply IC to the USB. So as soon as we removed this IC and connected a PJ4 jumper, soldered it again, and when we gave a supply, that is our 19 volt from a DC supply, and we found a normal good reading which is required for OK normal laptop. And so that was a signal to us, this board is OK now. And then we press a power button, and bingo, the display is on, and it started without any error. So this culprit IC we removed and replaced it with a new IC, and now the laptop is working perfectly fine. This particular section was converting, giving supply to USB 3.0, was converting plus 5 volt always to USB VCCA. So USB power was problem, it suffered due to some malfunction and shorting the board. So friends, here I am completing my case study on this interesting laptop Lenovo Y400. I hope you find this case study interesting, and may you learn many new points or test methods, and how to diagnose a board, how to use schematic to check the signal. In detail review for many topics will cover soon, and will present videos on our channel. Only last request to all my friends, please subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel, and you can join my Telegram groups, where we have repair tools group. You can find all kind of electronic repair tools in this channel. You can check tips, tricks, shortcuts, and upcoming technologies in my helping hand channels. And there is a support group for all the friends, that is LCM support group. You can join there and ask your queries, your doubts. We will definitely try to solve, maybe by answer, or maybe by video, or even you can message me on WhatsApp on this particular number. So thank you friends for your interest. Keep giving your valuable feedbacks, and see you soon with a new video. Thank you. Bye.